Thank you, Evans. Daniel from Tanzania. Actually, I don't know if okay, access. Okay. I think you see my screen that I've shared to you.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to thank Anime for introducing Redcap and giving lectures on how to use it and create projects. Also, Ruben for emphasizing more on data capturing and monitoring multi-site. So actually, this is actually a feature. It's just a small feature of a mobile application in Redcap. The primary purpose of this feature is actually to collect data in remote places where there is no internet access and or there is a sporadic access to internet. So actually, it's a feature. It's the feature that you can't do the survey. It's only for collecting data offline. So there are some things you need to note while you want to use this feature. So the first thing is you have to make sure that you are the user of Redcap main project. And second thing, you must ensure that your admin or administrator in the Redcap main project has already assigned you to a Redcap mobile app feature so that you can now request for the API. Um, so if you have those three important points to note, then I'll go through the mobile app workflow, which is very important to understand that you must have a project or create a project that will be created online. And the user, you have to be a user of the Redcap, and your admin or administrator has been added you as a user, as a data collector in the Redcap. So each user of the Redcap must request for a token, and this token is going to be used for integration between the offline Redcap app, which is will be downloaded from the mobile app on iOS or on Google Play. That is for those who are using smartphones. And also, the user must also register on their devices. That means in the devices, when you have already downloaded the mobile app, you need to set up a PIN for admin and data collectors. I understand that most of us are using smartphones. So you can go through in your smartphone and download the Redcap mobile app in the Google Play Store, or if you're using Android device, or iOS on the App Store, so that you can download this feature in Redcap. So you have to connect to a project using the token that you have requested before. So if you are connected to Redcap, then in this process, you need an internet access to do this. So after connecting your mobile app to Redcap, then the app will download the copy of the project or data in the device. So actually, then you enter already data on offline. Then those data will be later on being sent or synchronized back to the main project. So this process is iterating. So actually, you start with having the project, adding users to the project, requesting token, and so forth, up to when you are able to edit or add data, then you push data back to the main project. So actually, I'll just go through different pictures of how this can be done. As I've said before, that when you are setting a mobile app, then you must first download Redcap mobile app. So actually, on your left of your screen, that is actually the Redcap, where you will see the pointer in the last called application. So the mobile app feature will be on the applications. If you don't see the mobile app in the application menu, then you need to ask for an admin or administrator to give you rights to have that application. So actually, after having the mobile app on your left, then you have to request for And you can see these arrows shows to the Redcap mobile app. Then you have to request for a token to the administrator. So after requesting the token, then the administrator will allow you to have the QR code that, or a pin, a QR code, all those numbers that we use to connect it with your mobile application. So actually, if you have already downloaded the Redcap mobile app, then you need to set a user. So remember, in the first time, then you need to set the account for admin and data collectors. Remember that the admin account is not associated with any account from Redcap. Only the data collectors are the ones who are associated with the project that have been created in the main Redcap project. Actually, the first shows how you can create an admin account with pins. So you have to create a pin for admin, and then you have to create a data collector account. So after creating the data collector, then it's when you'll be able to log in using the mobile app. So after logging, you need to set up your projects to so that the project will be linked to or connected to the main projects. So that's where you download the copy of the project from the main Redcap server. So the last, you see my projects, where if you have different projects that are operating in your main Redcap, so all the projects have been downloaded, and you see how you will see and start collecting data. So actually, these slides shows how you will add a new project. So after getting the QR code, as I've said before, so you have to be connected to the internet to download data for a new project. So these, you can scan those QR code by having, there are two alternatives. First, you can scan the code, or you can enter a long code for those for that project that you have been requesting for the API. So actually, so after scanning, you'll be able to label the
I think we are
that is sending data to. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I've just explained how you do. You set up the mobile app in linking to the Redcap main project. So in the Redcap main project, you see the devices that have been connected with the Redcap mobile app. So actually, this is how you just go through a Redcap mobile app and rename each device according to the name. For example, if you have different sites and each site has its own maybe tablets, whatever, you rename that tablet to a particular API that have been in the main project. So you give it a name and you name according to your site's name. So you understand, or you know that each maybe tablets or whatever sending data, you know each activity that has been done in the mobile app and everything concerned with the mobile. So in logging, actually, as I've said earlier, you just use the PIN, and the username will be the same as username that is on the main server in Redcap. So you go through my projects, and if there is internet, some of the features will be shown. If there is no internet, also you can't set up the mobile project if there is no internet access. So inside your device, you go to my projects and decide, you go to your project and start collecting data. In the if there is internet, then there are some features that you are going to see it. And if there is no internet, then there are some features that will be shown. For the project setting on tablet or phones, actually, this is actually the admin panel. So admin is the one who is the one who is adding data collectors, and for those who are using repeating instruments, they have to go through legacy synchronizations in terms of the versions 3.0, and those who are using the old one, they go to the forms that still okay. For those who are using the previous versions, they use the render forms for just collecting data. Remember that in the sites, we have different forms that are in Redcap. So actually, for those who are collecting longitudinal data, they have different ways on how to set up the mobile app. And those who are not collecting the longitudinal data, they have a different ways to set up the mobile app on how they are collecting their data. So actually, on capturing data, so you have to select the collecting data instruments. So the first screenshot shows the project name, and the second, my first instruments. That's where you use to collect data, and then this third instrument is where it allows you to enter new data as you create a record. Thank you. I'll just go through a practical session. I don't know if I'll just show you Redcap, but for the mobile app, I think I'll not be able to show it because I understand that maybe you don't have the devices, but I'll show you how things works on the main project. I don't know. I've logged in. Let me stop sharing this screen and start sharing another screen for it. So actually, these are my projects. These are my projects. If I go to these projects, as we are using this project as Tanzania site, then if you go to your left side, you'll find that there are different features from Redcap. But actually, if you go to application, I've said earlier, in order to use the mobile application, you must first be the user in the Redcap. So if you're the user in the Redcap, then the second thing to know is just to make sure that the admin or administrator of this Redcap has allowed you in the user right to use the mobile app. For example, myself, have this feature enabled. That's why I can see the mobile app here. So if I go to mobile app here, the third thing to do is just to request for the API. So the API, as you can see here, because I already have the API, but if I don't have, then it will pop up it will be a main here said that you have to request for the API. So if I have the API, then I have to scan for the QR code so that I can connect to this Redcap main project. But actually for the mobile app feature, I'll be able to set up the project and also to see the dashboard. Here in the dashboard, actually, this is the number of tablets that are already configured to use the Redcap mobile app. You see their names, so I can edit these names according to what I need to do. Maybe I'll put 2, then save. So I'll know that what tablets are sent data to the main project. So if I want to know the activity of the the activities of tablets that are already connected to the main server. So I'll see all the names of the users that already are using mobile app and how many data they have sent, what are the existing records, see the names and when they've sent the data as the time and date. So also the data dumps, when they're sending or synchronizing data, then I'll be able to see what are the data dumps, even the logs and everything. So I won't be able to show you how can I connect or configure a mobile application? Because I assume that we all using smartphones. So if you go to Google Play or you go to iOS App Store, you can download it. And then after downloading the Redcap mobile app, then you go to set up for the admin. Then if you go to set up the admin account, then you will be able also to set up for the data collectors. So point to note here, the data collector account, the username must be also the username that is found in Redcap, and the username must be the username for the data collector must be also the user in Redcap, and also to set up the mobile app, you must ensure that you have already requested for the API token from the main Redcap so that you can get the API code or QR code to link it to the project that you are involved in data collection. That's it. Thank you, Evans. I submit.
Thank you very much, Daniel. That's wonderful. All that. I was asking a question. How does Redcap address a possible duplication of record IDs if several mobile users start updating new records at possibly the same time?
Daniel, do you want to maybe explain how you guys are dealing with it in practice?
Yes, welcome, Amy.
Daniel, do you want to explain how you guys deal with potential duplicated IDs? Are you using the auto numbering or are you using the direct input for the record IDs?
Auto numbering. So you're using auto numbering.
Okay, so if you are then starting, say two users are trying to push new records to the server will sequentially number them regardless of what was displayed on the mobile app. But of course, you do have the risk if you are editing existing records that two users could be trying to edit the same record at the same time. And that's one of the pitfalls of the mobile app, is that you are indeed working offline, and there is that potential that two people are trying to do conflicting changes to the data. So you'll get an error, but the one who uploads first, his data will be there, and the one who uploads second, his data will overwrite the first one. So it's not ideal for that. But Daniel, how are you guys managing that? Are you guys downloading all the records in the morning to the tablets or to the phones? Or how do you prevent two people from working on the same record offline?
Well, we're actually downloading all the data to the devices. Actually, it's just for them to check out. When they're sending the new data, they will understand that all of these are already existing in the main server. So when they are connected, so that's what we are doing. So they just only updating the new ones rather than those who have already existing in the main server.
Okay, so it's up to the data collectors among themselves to make sure that they're not working on the same patient.
Sure.
Yeah. You do also have the option, if you know which patients you want to work on, to only download those records. But the thing is, with these clinics, you don't always know which patients is going to pitch up. So in the morning, when you do have the internet connection, you end up having to download all of the records in case you need to work on one of those patients during the day. And then when you sync back to the server, you have to actually press sync back to the server, and then it will ask you, are you only pushing back the records that were changed or added? And then you say yes, so that you don't mess with the existing data.
Great. Is that clear for you, Mario? Next question is, does the data automatically sync when internet is back online, or do the data clerks have to manually push the data whenever they get internet access? And second question from Mike is, what is the minimum phone specification in order to have the app?
I think I'll answer the first question. It's not that automatic that whenever there is internet, then the mobile app will send data to the main server. But actually, you have to do it manually, as the internet, when the internet is available, then there are some feature. There is a feature that say send it to server or send to server. So that feature will allow you to when you click it, then you push data to the main server. But for the second question on the actually the specification of the, I think depend on the devices, but actually there are some recommendations that if you have I mean you have the speed processor and the RAM, and I think that would be much better for it to process more data. So I think you need to have the RAM with a good specification and processor for good specification, but actually also you need not to wait for huge data to be sent to server. So I think you have to have the minimal number of data that you can send, maybe 10, 20 or 50 per day. Is not wait until you have a lot of data to be sent to server, so that you can avoid that stacking or getting the dump data later. Okay.
Yeah, definitely the size of your project will determine how frustrated you are going to get with your mobile device. So technically, basically, if you can run WhatsApp on your phone, you can run the Redcap mobile app, but you might end up waiting very long for things to be processed if you have a lot of records, or if you have a very complex Redcap project that you are trying to synchronize to the phone. It is also possible to synchronize the project to the phone without the records, and then use it like that if you're only going to enter new records on a particular day. And then that will be a little bit faster than downloading the project and all the records to the phone.
Okay, just to add to that, so Mike, I think Redcap, the project website, would say that the device must have at least Android version 4.3 or later, and for iOS version 9.0 or later. So that would just be an add up to what has already been indicated for you. So we have another question, which is the admin who assigns the various users or devices. Is it the owner of the project? What happens when the Redcap admin is not the owner of the project? Mtizi, can you ask your question directly? It seems a little bit unclear to me. Or if Anime or Daniel, you get it, you can speak to it.
I think I get it. So the Redcap admin at your institution might not be the owner of your Redcap project, first of all. But then the owner of the Redcap project is not necessarily the owner of the mobile phone, right? So the owner of the Redcap project assigns user rights, and then someone who has user rights on that project can be the admin on their own phone, and then also add themselves and possibly others as data collectors on that device. So it doesn't have to be the same person that's the the Redcap project owner, but it must be the person who's the owner of that device, basically, who's the admin on the device. Maybe it could be the same person. I don't know. If you have a lot of tablets, you know, one person could be setting it up for everyone. But if it's your own phone, then ideally you would want to be the admin on your own device.
Hello. So my question was rather coming from the project administration side or the database manager side, where the Redcap admin for the institution, like Anime is saying, is not necessarily the one who's running that particular project, say the sickle cell project at the institution. So yeah, I think I'm partly answered from what you just said. I'm a little confused though, if you're saying the admin is from the phone, because I thought the person who's assigning the various devices and linking them to the specific project is an administrator of some sort, or maybe the project owner for that Redcap project. I'm not sure if this is clear.
It is, but they just give the tokens from inside the website of Redcap. They give a token, but then each individual user can set up their own mobile device. You don't need the project owner necessarily to do that. Once you have a token, you can go ahead and set up your own mobile app. If that makes sense.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for the mobile application. I understand from your presentation that the mobile application is valid if the Redcap is online only. Is it? And my question is, if you have a look at Redcap that is not online, is it possible to connect a mobile application, or do we need other software for this?
You have to have an online version of the Redcap to do that. You can't set up a project only with the mobile app.
Any other questions?
Ibrahim, sorry, I missed the question. Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Are you asking? Are you asking? Please go ahead.
If the mobile application is valid only for the Redcap is online, because we have a Redcap that our Redcap is not online. I will know if is it possible to connect a mobile application of the local law.
What do you mean it's not online? Do you mean you're running it on your own server, or what do you mean?
There is a standalone one, I think is what he means.
Ah, okay. I don't think the app works with that one though, because how's it going to connect to it?
Thank you.
Sorry, Ibrahim, by standalone, you mean that on a machine somewhere in your server room or your office, there is a Redcap installation on your server or computer, and it's connected to the internet, or is not connected to the internet?
Okay.
I'm asking. Evans, maybe we can have the conversation maybe after the session. Ibrahim, I'm more than would like to understand your question, but we can probably chat when there's time after presentations. Is that fine?
Yeah,
I will know.
En français, peut-être on va traduire.
C'est-à-dire, Soro,
oui.
je disais que, c'est-à-dire, et ils ont dit dans la présentation que l'application mobile est valide uniquement si Redcap est en ligne. Je voudrais savoir si c'est avec notre Redcap qui est local, si la connexion mobile est possible.
Ce qu'ils veulent savoir, qu'est-ce que tu entends par en ligne? C'est quoi ton Redcap? C'est ce qu'ils veulent comprendre.
C'est-à-dire qu'ils sont connectés à l'Internet, quoi. C'est-à-dire qu'on puisse se connecter en dehors du Mali, par exemple, ou en dehors du CRLD.
Okay, I think I understand the question now. I think our Redcap is only accessible when you are on site here. It's not something which you can access outside. It's what he means, which means that we have our Redcap system installed on a server, and the server can share through many computer and other things. He's asking if the application, the Redcap on the mobile device is required only when the Redcap is installed online. Is what he means. If you don't have a Redcap online, maybe you cannot use what you think, you cannot use the mobile device. Is it true?
So if I can answer that, so there are two things here. So if as you explained in your case, you have a Redcap server that is only accessible once you step into the office, because it's behind a firewall of sorts. Then once somebody collects data out in the field, they will have to come into your firewall to actually then allow the mobile app to access that server. But in the case where so beyond, if your server is not accessible outside, then the mobile site outside will not be able to access it. So the mobile application would not be able to access it. I do not understand. I don't know whether that but as long as your server is online and as long as your mobile device has access to that server, no matter where it is, out in the field or in your office, it is able to upload that data. Does that answer the question?
Yes. Keita, tu as compris?
Yeah, thank you.
OK. Et puis que c'est possible d'utiliser les mobile devices même si ce n'est pas en ligne, parce que il suffit que votre mobile device, si c'est une tablette, puisse être connecté au serveur. Donc, si ça peut se connecter à ton serveur, ça peut être utilisé. Maintenant, si c'est en ligne, c'est encore plus efficace. Mais si, dès que le téléphone ou la tablette peut se connecter au serveur, c'est possible d'utiliser les tablettes ou les téléphones pour prendre les données.
Thank you.
Voilà.
Merci, mes amis au Mali. Thank you very much, our friends from Mali.